afternoon. So, I am currently conducting a live. I'm going to try to turn my cameras so you guys can see me. I think with the light, you may not be able to see me as much, but guys, it is nice outside today. Really nice and bright. I'll show you guys what this looks like back here and on my other side. So, it is nice and bright out, and a lot of people are somehow, when I decided to do my live, lots of people are out about to start cutting some grass. We have another about maybe another 2 more weeks of some little bit of sunlight, and I don't plan to cut until tomorrow, but I wanted to come out here and get my study on. I do have my computers here and my laptop, so I'm going to be doing this live. I do live near the military base, and so there are lots of plane in the sky. I'm going to try to show you guys if you could see the plane in the sky. Don't know if I can get that shot well, but right there. So anyway, I do have a lot of plane that is going to be flying by, so I'm going to go ahead and mute myself so I can get my study on. I have a lot of stuff on my to-do list to do, and I have a lot of other things that I want to try to study. I have my pen here. I have a little case of pen and pencils that I use to study, and I also have my notepad and also what I use to take notes. So you want to get something that you use to take notes, so I'm not all dolled up like I normally would, but I wanted to get at least a decent hour or two with study mode. So what I'm going to do is most likely mute, or I will leave the live going, and if you have questions, of course, let me know, and I'll try to monitor that on the laptop so I can respond back. But if you guys hear people cutting their grass and you're hearing birds chirping and other things, is because I'm doing this live outdoors and I like the scenery. Sometimes I like to come out here and study. So I will do like a recording and maybe do a different type of thing over it, like some music if need be. But at this point, I'm just going to go with the flow. And as you guys can see, someone just turned on their lawnmower. So hopefully it doesn't bother you all, but I will probably see how this goes and mute you guys when I have to. But you can still comment in the comment section, so hopefully you can hear me. You can still comment in the comment section, and I will try to answer questions as I go about doing this live. Say hello, type influencer in the comment section to show your support and love, and I will see you guys when I address the question. So hopefully some of you all are studying, enjoying the weather. Get your books out, get your study guide, and let's get the studying. All right, y'all. So I'm going to mute. guys, so I'm going to unmute, which was what I was doing now. And I think my neighbors are done cutting their grass. I hope so. If not, I will mute again because I did not want to come outside because they were cutting their grass. I wanted to still come out even though they were cutting their grass. So hopefully you guys can hear me. Again, I live near an airport, the airport, military base area, so there are lots of planes in the sky. I tried to give you guys a view earlier. I'm also monitoring on my laptop to see if someone joins, but I love to hear the planes, I love to hear the birds and nature. So I like to come out here when it's nice and not too breezy, nice and sunny, and listen and still study. It helps me to focus, and it's nice to come outside at times. So just an FYI, in case you guys are wondering why I muted, is because I had a few neighbors cutting their grass, and literally my home is surrounded by 5 homes. I've mentioned that on my other channel, and so I'm doing a lot of landscaping to kind of get a little bit of privacy, but also they're that close. As you can see, there's a house right there, and it's so close that if they're cutting their grass, you're going to hear the noises, you're going to hear the cars, such as right now, and you're going to hear various different sounds. But I wanted to be outside today and I wanted to get some study on. So if you are watching, stop by, say hello. If you have questions, post it in the comment section. And I think that's about it. Just wanted to say hi, let you guys know I'm trying to get a little bit of study on. I will be stepping out in a bit, but I wanted to use my time wisely. That's what I am always telling people to try to do. Try to use your time wisely and make sure that you're getting some study in, whether it's an hour or two. Do get your study in. In my area, it is really, really quiet. I'm gonna keep quiet for a minute and you can hear my neighbors leaving. You can hear everything. So I'm gonna keep quiet for a minute. It's really quiet. Yeah, and that's some people probably on a motorbike driving. So you want to make sure, again, when you're studying with your study guidebook. I tend to make notes in my notepad, and I also have my textbook here. It is my, I have something separating this out. My HIM Bible. If y'all can see that. I do have a case of pens and pencils, my lead pencil in case I need to make notes, my coffee, and I kind of prep myself to make sure I get enough studying in without being distracted or without having to jump up so many times. So I'm going to leave myself unmuted and see how that goes. You guys hear some noises. If people start talking or people are loud, meaning the neighbors, I will go back and mute. But it's nice and quiet, and so I want to use my time wisely before I do other things for the rest of the day. So if you're studying, kudos, awesome job. Just get an hour in or two when you can. It's going to come in handy that you've started getting a habit of studying when you need to. All right, y'all, let me stop rambling and continue my studying. All right, y'all, so I'm reading about the differentiation between an overlap and an overlay. So let me say this correctly: overlap and overlay. So there's a difference. This is something that has come out on a lot of people's exam and has been a common key term that you want to really master. For those of us who work in medical records for HIM, and you work in the, I could say, not really coding department, but if you work in HIM for medical records, you're going to be dealing with, or data integrity, you're going to be dealing with a lot of the overlap and overlay situation. Or also if you work in registration, I'm going to try to let this plane go past and then I'll continue. All right, y'all, so that's one that has gone past. Hopefully no other planes will be taking off, so I'll be real quick. But for those of you guys, if you want to know about the difference between overlap and overlay, just studying in my book right now, this is a definition that is common, as I said, in the RIA exam, the RIT exam, the CHAD exam. And so you want to be sure that you understand those two different terms. Overlap, again, overlay. With the overlapping, this is when a person has had more than one record number assigned to them within the database system. So one database system, they have multiple records that are assigned to them. That is the situation of an overlap. And then when we have an overlay, my definition here, it says, is when a patient's record is overwritten with another patient's record. So sometimes you're going to have that clash in the system because you may have a John Smith and then a John Smith that they override their information, maybe enter or commingled the social security number, address, demographic information. So when you override someone else's information with another patient, that's the situation of an overlay. So currently with my role, I do manage a group of team members who deal with an overlay work queue. And in the work queue, there are lots of demographic information that links patients that are somehow similar to one another. And that's based on the demographic view. So if you look at the account in the EHR system, such as Epic, which is what we use for my organization, we have several patients. So you have a John Smith a John Smith without the middle initial A, but they share the same address, which is possible and that could have happened. They may share the same date of birth, which is possible. And then the other thing is, because they're both John and Smith as a first and last name, or though the middle initial has that A, the system will go ahead and get them in as a duplicate medical record because of those demographic information that matches them. Now it's up to my analyst to go in, or me even as the manager, because I can go in the system and do that, to review both patients' account and try to figure out who is who. Are they the same patient? Did the patient once come in and did not provide all that information? So if they did not, then sometimes registration might create another encounter for them without verifying this patient, and that causes a duplicate. And Epic, the system is going to capture it based on those weights in Epic and keep them together. So we're going to take a look, review them, and either keep them apart, or we're going to go ahead and merge the records so that patient can come in for their next visit without having duplicate records in the EHR system. So it's important that you understand the overlay and the overlap. So just wanted to share that knowledge, and let me know if you have any questions about those two key terms. It's important and I was reviewing the Chad book, and there was a question in here that I got right when I studied, but I'm also looking at the key terms in the book. I like to show things when I'm studying. I was reviewing these and looking at the terms so that I make sure that I don't just understand the question and be really happy that I got it right, but also I understand why the multiple choice are incorrect. So y'all hear the planes. So guys, I'm going to read the question for you. And it says in here, an important part of the MPI Master Patient Index is to resolve situations where a patient is assigned another patient's medical record number. This is an example of what? We had duplicate medical record, we had overlap, we had overlay, and we had reduplication. That's the question. Hopefully you guys can see it. And so with that question, the answer was overlay. And that's because obviously somebody's information, medical record number, was overwritten. The overwritten is your key or your cheat word to be able to know when you're trying to differentiate both overlap and overlay. So obviously a medical record number was overwritten by another patient's medical record number. So figure out ways to master your key terms so that no matter how it's posed in an exam question, you're able to know what the answer is because you've mastered the differentiation between an overlay and a overlapping of patient information. So I do see advanced nurses at ACCD4N said hello. So I want to make sure that I greet you and say hello. At times I am not checking these right away. So if I'm coming back and saying hello, I'm coming to make sure that I recognize that you visited my channel, and I do appreciate that. And I know this is a quick study with me session. I'm going to be doing lives whenever I can to see how you all are doing if you're studying for any exam. Remember, this is not only based on HIM certification exam or a HEMA certification exam. It could also be for your classes, things that you're doing with your classes, whether it's your anatomy class, chemistry classes, coding classes. Let me know what you're studying for. How are you going about studying for it? How are you prepping for it? Because in order for you to sit for your RHIA, RHIT exams, you guys still have to take those classes. You have to pass your classes, you have to pass your exams, and so you want to make sure that you're staying focused on that. So whenever you get time, put in a little bit of study time, even on the weekends. Get in an hour. You'll be surprised. It's going to go a long way. So stay motivated. Don't take too long to take your exams. I want to take this particular certification exam, and I am such a busy person, between mommyhood, being a manager, managing lots of facility, 14 and counting, and also being a student, which I am no longer that huge student factor that used to be, because I did finally graduate with my master's. But once you start taking classes, there's continuing education. I do a lot of those. You want to make sure you keep up with your CEUs. There's so many busy things that happen in our lives that can keep us so busy that we're not able to get a study in. So I try to figure out ways around that by doing a study with me, and also just quietly studying for an hour. I think it goes a long way. So don't give up on studying. If you haven't done it in years and you got your degree, still go back in and try your best to start studying. It's going to keep you focused, it's going to keep you guys motivated, and keep you accountable. So if you want accountability, I will be your accountability partner. And so just comment down below. Let me know if you're studying, and make sure that you're doing that. So advanced nurses says, I earned my CDIP. I'm here because I appreciate your ambition and wanted to interview you for my student and followers. Thank you so much. I do appreciate that. I'll probably get back with you on that. Accountability is key. Yes, I think it is. I also want to do some interviews on this channel because I think it's a blessing to be able to interview other people that are in our field and talking with them and making sure that we are spreading the word about our field, how we're doing, how to stay accountable, and the different things that could help other people, other students, other healthcare professionals, to see how we went about accomplishing our goals. I still have a lot that I need to do, a lot that I want to do with my career. And I think having that open dialogue where we can communicate, interview, get people's take on what they're doing, how they got to where they are, what recommendations they have, I think is important. So, advanced nurses, thanks for joining my channel. I really do appreciate that. Um, I know I do these live sessions and I don't have all these people in here on the live session, but I leave it open to whoever decides to join. And Advanced Nurse says, I am open for an interview. Please respond to my. So I will do that. I'll try to reach out and make note. Let me do that now before I forget, and try to make note of that and see how we can get some information as well, because a lot of people, coming to think about it, y'all, a lot of people in our healthcare industries, even the nurses, are in are also gearing into HIM, healthcare, health information management, health IT, health and analysts. So sometimes when they have not really gotten tired of being a nurse, But I've noticed that we do have a lot of nurses that are in CDI, that are in the coding portion of things, and they are doing quite awesome in the HIM field. So don't negate nurses. They are vital to our career, even in the HIM arena. I've worked with a lot of nurses, even when I was a coder, and it's inspiring to see how sometimes our majors or our degrees and our career can intertwine with each other. So that would be a good topic, as in some nurses who are trying to transition into the HIM arena. How do you do that? Or some HIM people that want to transition into nursing. You know, nursing usually is direct patient care if you're doing that nursing aspect. But there are nurses now who have gotten into the HIM arena, so they're not direct patient care, but they're still dealing with clinical documents for the patient. So I think it's important to notate that. Guys, so it is so quiet. You can hear people on the road, like literally. I don't have a lot of highways that are far from here, but it's far enough that you really shouldn't be hearing too much. But it is extremely quiet. I like that in this neighborhood. I think I got a little worried that it was too quiet, but I think it's good because you need those quiet moments to study. And so between the planes and once in a while the nature, birds, I think I love the fact that I'm able to come back here and study. And sometimes another thing is to change your scenery when you are studying, so you're not in the same spot. It's not boring for you to study, because that's another key to getting your study on, is to make sure that you're in a comfortable area, comfortable zone. So this helps me focus, and it helps me kind of set the mood to be able to study. So hopefully you guys are not hearing my children. They're in cleaning zone. When I study, I kind of get them to clean up their mess and also keep the house neat. So they're currently cleaning the downstairs level. So hopefully you won't hear them in this live, but if you do, it is what it is. But get your study on, do what you need to do. All the moms out there, dads out there, squeeze in time to get your study on, because once you get that certification, that degree, you are going to be golden. It's going to set you apart from others. And I think it's key with going through school and grabbing that certification or grabbing that degree. You know, start slow, take your classes, and start studying and finish up your program. It's going to pay off in the long run. All right, yo, another key term that I did pick out from this is when you have some sort of closed record. Closed record is a easy key term. If you think about it, what is closed? And obviously record is the patient's record. It would be the medical record because we're dealing with HIM. So defining the difference between an open and a closed record, you may want to understand that when these exams are placed or I guess generated, whenever they try to fix the exam, generate questions for the exam, a lot of them are vetted to be sure that the question is not too hard, it's not too tricky, but it's not too easy. And I think understanding the questions that are being asked, the key terms within the question, and what are they gearing towards for your answer is important. So closed record is something that I was studying up on. I have that on my key term notes for domain 5, which is the data governance chapter. Let me confirm that because I've been on that chapter and I want to make sure that I understand that chapter very well. The domain actually is data governance for domain 5. Closed record is something that you want to think about why a record would be closed. It's not that the record is discontinued, but it's closed for a certain reason. And closed record is a record that has been discharged. I'm going to look for the definition so that I can clearly define it for you. Okay, so the closed record is a record which has been discharged. So the patient has been discharged. And so this is important because that means that any treatment or any care that has been provided to the patient has been done. The visit or the encounter is now closed out. So if billing needs to bill the patient, they can go ahead and move forward with billing. They can go ahead and move forward with coding. They can move forward with anything they need to do with that record because it's officially closed. Usually you don't want to be performing updates and performing different things on patients' accounts that are not closed. Usually if it's open, patients are usually, let's say, in-house. A patient that is in-house, you don't want to be doing a lot of activity on that patient's record because first of all, it can compromise the patient's health. It can compromise treatment plan. It can compromise different situation that will now put the patient in a patient safety mode. So now you have an issue. If you're doing things like filing a lab order, it may not file back if you're fiddling with the patient's account, changing demographic information when the patient is in-house. So you want to make sure that is that record officially discharged. When you look in a record, you're working on a record, there will be a section that will tell you this patient is officially discharged. You want to look at the discharge disposition and make sure that it says discharge, maybe sent home. And if it's home, then you know that patient obviously has been discharged, they're sent home. But when you see something like a patient is in-house and that encounter is not closed, that means you don't want to do anything with that patient. So some of the key terms you want to keep in mind is understanding what a closed record is and why is it closed. If it's closed, what are the things you can do with that record when it's closed? What are the things you can't do with the record when it's open? So what I'm doing for my study is I do have a domain section, and for each of those domain section I will write down key terms that I feel is important that I have either mastered or not mastered. Your key term list can be for things that you feel great about and you feel is important, or things that you feel that you don't truly understand and you want to continue to practice it. So I try to do that with my study and list out key term. Plus, because of my YouTube channel, I try to also make sure that I am jotting down key terms that is going to be beneficial to you and for you to know, so that I can use that to either create content for you all or just give you pointers on different key terms you can use. All right, y'all, have another plane flying by. So, guys, another thing I like to do when I'm studying is, it's getting a little breezy out here. Another thing I like to do when I'm studying is I am going to be creating an abbreviation acronym list. I think that's important. Hopefully, I'm loud enough you guys can hear me. Don't want to be too loud because I don't need the neighbors in my business. But then again, I don't care because I want you guys to benefit from this video. And I'm utilizing my space the best way I can. So I'm going to do what I need to do for my viewers. So one thing I do is I list out as I'm studying, I'm listing out acronyms for my, you could say, follow-up study, so that I can go back in and understand. Acronyms are so important. I've stated that in a lot of my videos. We tend to negate them. Don't worry too much about them because we're assuming that the testing creators, developers, they're not really going to think of acronyms, but there are so many acronyms in the study guide that if you do not keep track of them, understand the who, what, when, where, why, you're going to be messed up for the exam. So make sure that you all are studying the acronyms. And what I do is I create a list for my acronyms for each domain. And sometimes I will create the list on my computer, my laptop, put it on a Google Docs if you want to, put it in an Excel sheet, alphabetical order if you want to, or I make notes and then I transfer them over to my list where I create a master list that I can use to reference back for each of my domain. So I just create something like that says acronym on it, and I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I jot down my acronyms. And as you jot down your acronyms, make sure that you also indicate what the acronym is. So you don't want to just write down MPI, and although you might recall what it is, you don't want to later on down the line forget what it is. So I normally like to write down MPI and then put the master patient index next to it. Then I can go back and find all my information, all my textbook information, whatever I need to find online. A HEMA body of knowledge is another great place to get information from. And yo, when I'm outside, I'll get one or two two things trying to fly up on me, but I still like the outdoors. It's not as bad out here if you get your lawn sprayed. But anyway, like I was saying, you want to make sure that you're using your textbook, the AHIMA body of knowledge. You're using any notes that you have. I keep track of all my notes that I make and try to define those key terms, define your acronyms, know what they are. So I like to list them out in the abbreviation format first and then write it out as to what that abbreviation is. And once I've written it out, then I can go back and identify what resources do I have for this information or for this abbreviation. What information can I gather, guys? And for every key term that is in your domain, when you're studying, you want to list those out. Unless you have mastered them, you want to list them out. Because if you don't recall and figure out what those key terms are and what the definition is, and the who, what, when, where, why for your key term, you're wasting your time studying. So for me, I always like to list out my key terms or list out my abbreviations. These are two abbreviations here. I list them out and then I write it out. And then on my spare time or my next study session, I'm going to go back in and focus on acronyms. So I could have a acronym day. Make sure if you guys are stopping by, just say hello. Sometimes I'm like, who's on live with me? I know everybody's busy, but it's great to see people supporting our cause, which is trying to educate, help as much as I can. And so just comment, say hello, give me a thumbs up, and if you're stopping by. Anyway, so back to my acronym. I like to list them out as I'm studying, and then I'm going to go back and use my resources. Again, you can do it online. You can look at Quizlet. You can look at your AHIMA body of knowledge in your textbook to find different things about the acronyms. That's important for your exam. And one thing you guys should remember is that we do have several acronyms that are not true acronyms for the HIM scope or for your RHIT exam, RHIA exam, coding exam. So don't get tricked by not looking up these acronyms and studying them and you're unsure. Like, for example, a key term with the reduplication, there was nothing in my textbook for that. I have to go back in and dig a little bit deeper, but my focus was more on overlap, overlay, and duplicate medical record number. There's such thing as a duplicate medical record number. So when you're studying your acronyms, make sure they're acronyms that are truly acronyms, because you could get a trick question and you're thinking the acronym is accurate, but it's not. So that's why you need to notate your acronyms and go back, study it, and master it, and know the ins and out of an acronym or a key term. And that means knowing the who, what, when, where, why, and I always add the how. Because if you master your key terms or your acronyms, your organizations, anything that has to do with what you're studying, if you master them that way, you're going to be able to understand when any question is posed. But if you study just your definitions, then you're not going to master this enough to be well prepared for your exam. So make sure that you're mastering who, what, who's using it, maybe what organization use it, when is it used? Is it in a database system? Is it used for patient treatment? Is it used during coding? Is it used during billing? Is it used for analyst? You know, when, where, like where are they using it? Like what type of facility? Is it long-term care? Is it the medical records department? Is it a registration thing? Who, what, when, where, why? Why is it being used? Why do we have to use medical record number? Because each patient needs to be tracked within a database system. So we're able to give this patient care and give them treatment. So it's important to know, why is this medical record number used? Why is it used in a system? Because each patient should have a unique identifier, which means if you have a unique identifier, you're not going to have the patients mixed up. So we have who, what, when, where, why, how. How is it used? And that's where we're allocating different medical record number, that unique identifier number, that unique enterprise number for the patient. And then that way, when they come to see the doctor, whether it's at a doctor's office, outpatient, inpatient, acute center, long-term care, therapy center, there is a record that strictly is unique to that patient. So understand the who, what, when, where, why when you're studying. It's going to help you master your terms much better, your acronyms much better, and give you that confidence you need to know or have when you're taking your exam. Like, you can't go wrong by studying that way. You don't want to just memorize when you're not supposed to memorize. Acronyms requires memorization. I've done a video on that, but at the same time, it still requires the know. So you want to be in the know, meaning you want to know what you're studying, but you also want to memorize what is MPI, Master Patient Index, what is HIE, Health Information Exchange. But it's not just knowing that it's Health Information Exchange, it's also knowing what does it mean, how is it used, who uses it, what's the importance for it. Guys, I got a bee next to me. So, but that being said, you want to make sure that you understand that, because if you went ahead and memorized what a HIE is and you don't know what a health information exchange is, you're gonna fail your exam, literally, unless someone's asking you just the abbreviation, which is not rare. I mean, it's not common for them to do an exam and just say, what is MPI? No, that's not, we don't just memorize. So memorize your acronyms, but understand what it's used for and how it's used. That's important. Because if you don't know the acronym and what it means, you're going to be in trouble, because all you did was memorize those acronyms. All right, y'all. Alright guys, I'm going to take what time is it? I'm going to take a little break. I do see one person joined, another person has joined and watching. If you're watching, please say hello and make sure you're taking your breaks as well. It's nice out here, but make sure you take a break when you're studying. You don't want to be all studied up and no break, mental break. So make sure you're taking your breaks when you're studying, and make sure that you grab something, stay hydrated. I'm trying to make sure I didn't miss anybody else on my live. So please say hello. Much love to all you guys who are joining. I do appreciate it. Let me know what else you want me to do on my lives. I know sometimes I will mute it and do some rain sound or just quiet to study, but at the same time I like to address some questions. I will be addressing something that someone else has mentioned to me. I've been hesitant on doing it because I can't figure out the best way to do it. So I will just state it possibly on this live since I have an opportunity, because I don't want you all to feel that I haven't done anything about it. And for those of you who are watching, you can comment down below. So guys, I'm going to do a video on it. I think I should do a video on it so that way everybody can chime in. But it's about a giveaway, which I didn't think I was going to make it to 1,000 subscribers, and I did, and I met that milestone, and I wanted to do a giveaway. I am such a giver and a gifter. I wish these planes will stop flying around, but let me not fuss about it. I'm blessed, and that's all that matters. So I got my 1,000 subscribers. I'm just taking a quick break from studying, but I wanted to talk about this. And I wanted to see what you guys want to do. I know that people have said different things because I am new with YouTube, although you guys may see otherwise, because launching this channel, I've had it, but then I paused it because I'm like, should I not? And I wanted to keep going and stay motivated that eventually I'm going to grow this channel. So y'all help me grow this channel. So I want to do a giveaway for something, a study guide, a textbook, a book. Is so many different things. I mean, we have so many different courses, classes, certification exams that we're taking, and I want to figure out a way to do my giveaway. And I'm struggling with that, y'all. I didn't say much about it. I probably should have done just a strict video about it so that way maybe I'll get you guys input. But if you're watching, comment down below and let me know how or what is the best way to do a giveaway so I can be fair across the board and at this or bless someone, because I did reach 1,000 subscribers and the channel is growing, and I want to be able to do a giveaway sooner than later. Maybe I'll just aim to try to do it before end of 2023, because I got my 1,000 within this year, and then next year I'll see what I'll do next, because I'm a gifter, so I am ready to give things away and help people in the HIM aspect so that we can all motivate each other. We know that people are struggling out there, and it would be helpful to have a textbook, or helpful to get a study guide, or helpful to get even if it's maybe a gift card to help towards someone's tuition. I think it's important, and I wanted to do that. So let me know or comment if you watch this video later on and joined much later and you watch this video again. Let me know what you guys think I should do or how I should go about doing my giveaway. My hair is all over the place, y'all, with these winds. So let me know what you guys think and how I should go about doing my giveaway so that I can get it done. Mm-hmm. That's his favorite spot. That's his favorite spot. So guys, I told you I'm doing a live and my neighbors are out. There's this one particular white squirrel that's constantly on the go. Y'all might catch it one day on my live hopping through the fence. So my neighbor was just telling me now that she spotted the white squirrel, all white squirrel. So anyway, so let me know what you think, and that's what happens when you're doing real-time lives. You're going to see so many different things, especially outdoors here. So let me know what y'all think. Let me know how I should go about doing this giveaway. I'd like to get it done. And my goal is to get it done by end of 2023. So I'm going to push for that. Probably create another video and have people comment and then go from there to try to do the giveaway. But that's my struggle right now. How do I do a giveaway? I've watched a lot of YouTubers and how they're doing their giveaways, but I am still clueless on the best, smartest, efficient way to do my live giveaway. So it's probably going to be live. It's probably going to be just a video. I don't know. We'll see. But it's going to be done, and it will be done in 2023. And also, I'm going to use this opportunity to say thank you for those of you who have subscribed, who have commented, and if I have time, motorbikes. If I have time, I will create a separate video for that. So we'll see. All right, y'all. I'm going to step away, take a quick break, and guys, y'all hear all of that? Take a quick break and comment down below. Let me know you stopped by. Give me thumbs up, and I really appreciate it. I'll be back in about 5 minutes to 10 minutes. guys, so I had to take a break. And remember, I said when you're studying, make sure that you are taking your break. You don't want to overstudy. So hopefully you all can hear me, but you don't want to overstudy. You don't want to study so much that you don't retain anything because you're constantly studying and not taking a mental break. So take your mental break when need be. It's getting a little chilly out, but I will be stopping my live soon. Let's see how long we've been on, because I have a few things I want to do today. So make sure you take your break and continue your study as need be. But it's nice out here, it's cozy. So I wanted to make sure that I use my time wisely. I hope y'all can see. I'm going to shift this back a little bit more. I'm trying to see how long I've been on this live. I feel like I've been studying most of the day, which I'm happy about because I feel like I'm getting stuff done. So let's see how long I've been on. And again, people are always asking about my gum, and someone else said they can relate to that. I like to chew gum when I am studying or just in general. I'm a gum girl, so I'm going to chew my gum or have me tea or coffee, anything to keep me hydrated. I think I've mentioned that on my live, so just an FYI in case you guys see me chewing my gum. That's because I love to chew my gum. All right, y'all, try to get a little bit more study in before I stop this live. If you're studying, again, comment down below. If you're new to my channel, my name is Nkechi Odukwe. I am an HIM professional. I have been in HIM for quite some time, pushing about 10 years plus. I love it. I do like what I do, and I love to share as much as I can to help others and to give you guys as much information that I can. So if you are in the HIM scope, welcome to my channel. It is a niche channel, so if you have any knowledge to share with others, please comment on my videos. Go watch my videos, support me, subscribe, like. I hope you're enjoying your content that you're seeing for yourself, your family, your friends who are in this particular field. guys, I stated as I study, I normally like to jot down the key terms. I like to jot down the abbreviations, and I also like to jot down my chapter. I am studying from my HIM Bible. Go watch the video on that. And I like to capture these chapters, the page numbers, so I can reference them later on. And also, one thing you guys need to note is that you want to try to use a pencil when you are working. Give me a second, y'all. I think my computer is about to die. Not my recording, but my computer, which I don't want it to, because I'm using it to study. Okay, so you want to make sure that you are using a, we're gonna wait for the planes again. All right, y'all. Recording to, I was trying to finish my thought, but also I didn't want to lose what I was jotting down. Okay, so what I was trying to tell you guys is when you are studying, also make sure that you are using a pencil. I'm learning to not use a pen too much when I'm studying, because when you're notating things and you make a mistake, you're going to have to continue scratching things out. I think with a pencil, I use a lead pencil. It's just general lead pencil. It does have an eraser to it. I can make my notes and then I can erase as I go, because sometimes maybe you're writing down something you didn't mean to write, or you're missing a word when you're studying. So use a pencil, lead pencil, if you have to, so that you can take notes, and you can take more effective notes than having to scratch things out and not erase and go. I think erasing and going is easier. I do have a train station also next to where I live, not just the airport, military base. I do have the train station. So you guys are going to hear that going by. Hopefully, it's not too loud that you can't hear me. Again, one of the key terms that I was writing down as we go in the chapter that I'm studying for information governance was the HIE, and that's Health Information Exchange. This is another key term. Take notes, y'all. That may appear on your exam. And I'm saying that because you need to jot this down. Health information exchange is big in our HIM arena, and you want to understand what it is. It's really what it says: common sense, self explanatory, and user friendly key term. So anyone should be able to understand that health information exchange. This is the exchanging of health information amongst organizations. The definition said it's the movement of health related information amongst organizations. And then it also says that it is something that is the movement of that health information that is according to the nationally recognized standards. So health information exchange is where we're able to exchange patient information within our organization, but these organization has to be compliant to certain standards. So they have to be intertwined with each other under the same umbrella for that patient's information to be shared amongst other organizations. So keep in mind what that word means when it's health information exchange. The acronym for it is HIE, knowing the who, what, when, where, why when it comes to that. So that's going on my key term, it's going in my abbreviation, and I'm going to understand the who, what, when, where, why for this particular term. All right, y'all. So the other definition it has in here is it says the goal of the health information exchange is to facilitate access to retrieval of clinical data to provide a safer, timelier, efficient, effective, equitable, and patient centered care. So, understanding that's the key purpose of utilizing the health information exchange is also important. So, that's part of the definition. You want to master it, you want to know it because it is going to appear on your exam. This is a standard key term that will come out on any AHIMA certification exam because we use it. It's something that we use all over our organization, all over the world, nationally. We are exchanging health information for patients, and patients are constantly going from one place to another, cities, countries, states, and so the HIE helps with them being able to share their medical record, their care, their treatment with other clinicians that is going to render care to them. So I think that term, that abbreviation is fair game when it comes to an exam content. So keep that in mind. All right, guys, it's almost time for me to close out. I am going to stop this live shortly. Let me know what you think and give me some pointers. Show me some love. Make sure that you're keeping track of your notes. I come back to study some of the content that I studied in my prior live or in my prior study session for the same domain until I feel comfortable that I've mastered that domain. My focus for this particular live was data governance, and I'm still working on some questions from my study guide book. Again, for those of you who didn't see it, this is the Certified Health Data Analyst exam preparation, and I'm studying for this and wanted to support those of you who are also studying for this exam. Remember, it's not just this particular exam. There's the RHIT, RHIA coding exam. So I'm grabbing questions from the book. I am studying it and I'm trying to master as much as I can, not memorize. I said master what I can. Key terms, I'm looking at the questions, checking my answer, checking my understanding in the book. Whatever I have wrong, I'm going to come back and study it again. And whatever I feel comfortable, I'm going to check that off my list. I use a dot system for anything that I study. And then I come back into the multiple choice to see why the other answers are not applicable to the question. And that helps me master what I'm learning. So I'm going to stop here and end this live. Hopefully you guys found it to be helpful, useful, and again, thank you so much for joining me on this live. Wishing you guys all the best with your studies. Keep studying, stay motivated, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Bye guys.